Today on Here for the Right Reasons, Wells Adams spills all the details we need about the upcoming season of Bachelor in Paradise.
If you were single during COVID, you didn't get laid for a year, basically.
And we're revealing who we can't wait to see on that island of love. And we're breaking down everything you need to know about last night's episode. We've got that plus so much more on today's Here for the Right Reasons. Hi guys, welcome to Here for the Right Reasons. I'm Mandy DeCamp. I'm here with senior editor Sarah Huron. Hi Sarah, how's it going?
Hi Mandy, I'm reporting live from a different state. I got a little bit of a woodsy background, maybe more Nemacolin inspired than New Mexico, but I'm trying.
Well, I love it. I love your new background. It's beautiful. So we had to get to part 2 of your interview with Wells Adams. He dished all about the new season of Bachelor in Paradise, and it's making me want to binge watch it immediately. So let's check it out.
What is the season going to be like?
Yeah, I know everyone always says, this is going to be the most dramatic season ever and yada, yada, yada. And I think that people are maybe a little bit tired of hearing that. So I won't say those words. But hey, listen, this is my 5th season doing Paradise. I've been on a lot of episodes of this show. And I will say that this one might be my favorite one that we've done. You get everything. It's hot. It's sweaty. There are crabs everywhere. The beach kind. Hopefully just the beach kind. There's love. There's romance. There's a lot of drama. It's got everything. The drinks are bad. The advice is worse. But the bar is open. So it's going to be a fun one. I'm telling you, there are some twists and turns that I was shocked by and I never thought would ever happen on the show. And I think people are really, really going to love this season.
Oh, I like that. Would you say if you had to more love or drama based or the perfect combo?
It starts out comedy, drama, and then there's a lot of really wonderful love. So you get everything. It's a really wonderful season. I'm super pumped for this one. And also I think that America and the world needs the earth isn't healing until Paradise is back. And I feel like we've needed this for so long. And so I'm just excited for everyone to experience it. And, America gets to kind of show up at the gates of Paradise and walk down those steps with us, which is always nice. And I think people are really going to enjoy this season.
Would it be fair to say having a break and not getting to do it because of Corona and more contestants, we have more people to choose from, could have caused more pre-show drama or stuff to go down?
Yeah, but unfortunately, also Corona stopped stagecoach from happening, and
Fair.
So that storyline's gone. I will say this, if you were single during COVID, you didn't get laid for a year, basically. So I think there's a lot of pent up sexual tension in a lot of these cast members. And I think that will translate quite nicely on television. Yeah, there's a lot, listen, I think America feels the same way too, is that you're trying to make up for lost time. Everyone feels like they got robbed of a year. So I think people are a little more prone to be more bold than they probably normally would on the beach, which is nice.
I am so excited for Paradise. I know Wells didn't want to call it the most dramatic season ever because that's played out, but It was giving me everything for him to imply it. I am ready. Are you ready?
I am beyond ready. I have my bikini on under this. Let's go.
Let's go. What do you think of the cast? We finally have the cast.
Yes.
And 4 of the men we lost on Kody seasons last night have booked their tickets, and they are everyone but Hunter.
Yeah, which he might be a drop-in at the end. We'll see. I bet you he is, actually.
I think so too. So these are the men, the people that have come out are the confirmed 24 starting off the season. They always bring people in and out. But from that cast, who has stood out to you? Who do we need to talk about? Who can't we wait for August?
So I'm excited for Brendan. Brendan was from Tayshia's season. He made it pretty far into Tayshia's season. He was that really soft-spoken guy, very sweet. I always kind of liked him for Tayshia. Happy she ended up with Zach, but I'm excited for him, and I feel like he could find real love. I really feel like this could be good for him, a good atmosphere.
I like him a lot.
Yeah. And then Joe Amiable. Okay, so I'm not excited. I always say his last name wrong too, so I'm sorry about that. But
sorry, Grocery Store Joe. We love you.
Grocery Store Joe. We'll just go with that. I'm very excited for just to see who he falls for and if it works for him. I could almost see him going and it not working. Him being like, it's too soon since my breakup with Kendall. I'm gonna opt out of this and like leave after day one.
Ooh.
Or he could go to the end and like, who knows? What do you think is going to happen with him?
I want Kendall to show up. I want it to be mess, X on the beach vibes. I could see it happening. These producers are smart. The devil works hard. The Bachelor producers work harder. And I also think that I listened to his clickbait podcast when he came back, and he said that this experience was totally different than the first time he was on Paradise. Because I think him and Kendall were pretty coupled up for the most part.
Yeah.
I don't remember too much. They went on something.
I almost think that they talked beforehand maybe and like were coupled up right away, but I could be wrong.
Yeah.
It seemed like they were together.
It was a couple years ago, but he said it was a totally different experience. He totally forgot what Paradise was really all about. So I'm thinking Joe might be in the drama because he was kind of shook talking about
I'm totally wrong then.
That's just a guess too.
I mean, didn't Kendall tell you that she wouldn't go back? Did I make that up?
I think she did tell me that like last year.
I mean, that doesn't mean anything, but
yeah. Maybe around October of last year, she had a book coming out. I spoke to her. Mm-hmm. And then earlier this year, she gave an interview saying like how hard it would be to watch Joe on the show.
Right. That's what I remember. Yeah.
But then she was kind of quiet on social when they were all gone too. So I'm thinking there might be something brewing. I don't know. But either way, I think Joe should be interesting to see for sure.
Okay, now I'm going to change my entire prediction. I'm going to predict that Kendall comes back like you and they end up getting engaged in the last episode.
Oh my God, you think they're going to get back together?
Yeah.
They're going to solve their problem that he wants to live in Chicago and she wants to live in LA while in Mexico?
Maybe they'll move to Mexico. Okay. Perfect. I'm also excited for Queen Victoria. Her look is totally different. I know she's already talked about people obsessing over that. Yeah. She looks like a new person though. She does. She looks great. She looks great. Yeah. I'm excited to see how she handles herself after how she was portrayed on last season, because obviously she wasn't in a very favorable light last season.
Yeah.
And I think this season will be her redemption season. And I'm excited to see who she really is, because I feel like she will come back and it might be the same person, but whoever it is, it's going to be who she really is.
And I'm excited to see if any of the guys like want to date her, because I remember when I talked to Blac Horseman, who isn't on the season, he was saying that the producers almost did a disservice making Matt's girls look so catty, because watching Paradise, like who would want to date them? And I was like, that's
true.
Interesting and an interesting perspective. But Victoria is obviously like, it makes sense she's going to be in Paradise. I'm glad she's going, even though like I was so sick of her. I kind of, with a villainy, you never know if they either want to go for it and try to get their redemption, or if they just like avoid the show for the rest of their lives and pretend they were never on it. Yeah. She's obviously going for the maybe redemption arc. And I'm very excited to see how it plays out. And if any of these guys want to like help her get it,
I know. I mean, they might not recognize her.
True.
They'd be like, who is this girl? She's hot.
Yeah, 100%. I'm excited for Abigail. Matt James' first impression rose recipient. She was just super sweet, and like I'm very curious to see. I feel like she could have a lot of connections. She might be like Bachelorette in Paradise vibes. Like I think a lot of the guys are gonna be interested in her, and
maybe
I'm really excited.
Good match for Brendan.
Yes.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Even though he was like dating Piper before the show, Brendan. So like there could be some tea there.
Oh, but Piper's not on the roster, is she?
I don't remember. Maybe she shows up later.
Yeah.
Or maybe they broke up and then he went to Paradise. I don't know. We'll find out, I'm sure. What happens in Before Paradise never stays before Paradise. No. And Carl from this season, the motivational speaker, I'm excited to see any of the guys from this season, because I always love the quick turnaround.
Yeah.
And now that we know, like I said, our cast-offs, Connor, B, Trey, James, and Aaron are all going to be there. I think it's just interesting to see, because they, like I said, quick turnaround. Like these guys were still the people who are on the season, like the people who didn't necessarily get to watch them. Like some of the people who filmed Paradise with them didn't even get to see them go home on the show, since this just aired. So I think that's always interesting.
Yeah.
And Victoria P, because she had all that drama clapping back at her filter on her photo because they made her look ridiculous.
I mean, that was insane. The before and after was crazy.
I know. She's gorgeous. And like, I feel like it was normal. Really? She was on Peter Weber's season. Interesting to get a few Peter girls in there. A lot of Matt, a lot of Katie, a lot of Tasha Claire. So we'll see.
No, it's going to be a good season. And well said, they've been cooped up in quarantine for a year and a half. This is like island of singles and people who just want to hook up. And it almost is giving me Too Hot to Handle vibes.
Totally. Or like that new F-Boy Island show that's coming out on HBO Max that the old Bachelor producer is now doing. I feel like it's going to just be like the summer of debauchery on beaches. That's like the theme of reality TV this summer.
I'm into
debauchery on the beach. I'm ready.
I'll be in my living room watching it, but
literally sitting.
All right, let's get to last night's episode. Buzzword of the night. What was yours?
Mine was secrets, because I feel like we learned a lot. Obviously the Hunter thing, but even Kody revealing that her father who passed away, she later found out was not her biological father. I feel like they're doing such a good job showing so many sides of Kody, and like no matter if you like her or not, or if you're liking the season or not, I feel like you got to give her props for really going there. Like every week we're learning something new about her. She's super candid. And also secrets of like Hunter being a Bachelor fan, but we'll get to that. And then also bloodbath just because 5 men went home.
I know. I was so shocked when they only brought out the 6 roses.
I think we're at top 7.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. Hometown dates, hometown roses next week. Like, what is going on?
This always happens at the end, though. At least the last few seasons, it feels like at the end they just like get right to hometowns.
I think it's the like all the cutting out, like so many to be continues.
Okay, my buzzword of the night was whoa. For one, the whoa challenge, which we'll get to that.
Yeah,
I just have so many thoughts on that.
Same.
But whoa, because Catman Connor went home.
Were you devastated?
I was devastated.
Did you cry as hard as Trey?
I'm still in shock. What?
Did you cry as hard as Trey?
Okay. I like several of the men shed a tear, especially Trey. And also Trey went home, which made me sad. But I was shocked. Something went wrong with that kiss. I went back and watched it. Looked like a good kiss to me.
I was going to say, because I mean, they were putting so much buildup onto it. I was like, there's no way this guy's making out of this group date alive. I mean, this one-on-one date alive. Like, it was too much hype with the Caitlyn and Jason being like, fools.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah, no, I was like, they love him.
Yeah, but they were like, it was like they were trying to convince her to like him. And she was like, I feel like they kept in all that stuff she was saying about the kiss because it was going to like not live up to it. That was the vibe. It was like Kody wanted to make it work so bad. And I think she just never really, even with Connor, I kind of said from the beginning, like night 1, I was like, oh, he's going all the way. They had that connection. But ever since he took that catsuit off, like she never liked him as much as the first night, I swear.
Also, didn't they make out when he was wearing the catsuit?
Oh, yeah, like hard
wearing cat ears or like,
yeah.
You already kissed him. So yeah, it was weird that they were building up the kiss.
Yeah, I think she got like first night butterflies with him and then she never got them back. And this whole time she's been trying to get them back. And it's over for them.
I'm really upset about it.
I know. I'm sorry. He's going to be on Paradise. Do you think he's going to be good on Paradise? I mean, he is a teacher and he's got his guitar.
Wait, he's gonna be on Paradise?
Yeah, he's one of the ones they added.
Okay, I'm excited again.
Everyone who got kicked off is going to be on Paradise. Literally every single one.
What did you say?
Everyone besides Hunter allegedly is going to be on Paradise. So
yeah. All right. Well, that's exciting. I mean, again, isn't it too soon? Wasn't he just like in love with her?
Yeah, I do feel bad for him. We'll get to the line about the kiss. Okay. What is your thirst moment?
My thirst moment was Hunter being a super fan, which we talked about last night. Yeah. I mean, how could we not pick that? He goes on Bachelor blogs and comments on them. But okay, so I had like a real back and forth about Hunter in that whole moment where it was like, oh my God, you go on Bachelor blogs and comment. But then I was like, I felt bad because everyone was insulting him. And I don't like when people they like gang up on someone. It makes me sad. But then I was thinking how he has kids and he goes on Bachelor blogs. And then I was all angry again at him. I'm like, why? What? No, you have children.
James didn't come off great in this episode as like the one who was leading the pack on Hunter's like a weirdo.
Yeah.
And there was some sympathy for Hunter, but also like, how did James even know he goes on like that? Like, did he tell him he goes on Reddit or something? Like, what is a Bachelor blog?
That means you're also on the Bachelor blogs, James.
Right. Or like, did he like say this in passing? But what I didn't like was the whole top 4 thing and like putting himself in the top 4. Like that is thirsty. And also you're way off. He put Connor B in the top 4 and himself. So clearly he had no idea what Kody was thinking. Greg checks out. And then the 4th one we never found out, which was just annoying. Like, Hunter's top 4, like who was the 4th?
Right. I want to know.
And not that he has any idea what's going on, clearly, since like I said, he put himself and Connor B in the top. So he must have been shook when Connor went home. I mean, he like was fake. He was doing that thing like when a housewife tries to cry, like he was just like putting his hand in his eyes and like while the other guys were like weeping, he was like faking it because I feel like he thought he had
eye drops. Yeah.
Yeah. But then it's the same thing. It's like a double-edged sword because it's the same thing when we have the conversation of, oh, you want to be the Bachelor, like that's not okay, not the right reasons. But it's like, if you watch the show, that's okay. Cause it's like, you should watch this. You should know what you're getting into at the same time.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I agree. Just don't like comment on the blogs.
Yeah, don't comment on the vlogs. Don't walk in and like when he was like telling Greg, can I get a second one-on-one? And like it only happens sometimes. I was like, all right, now it does that. It was cringe. It was like cringe and also thirst.
Yeah, I agree. Any other thirst moments for you? Or we're just going with Hunter here?
It was just all Hunter. There was thirst. I mean, he wanted to be on The Bachelor and he was on it.
Yeah. All right. Moving on. What was your best line of the night?
Okay, so I have two. One is from Justin, who I just want to talk about this one-on-one date with Justin because he said, and I quote, "Kody, with you, I found a love I didn't know existed." And that was in his like vows. And that's a lovely line, but obviously just a line for the vows. And it just brings me back to this uneasy, I hate the wedding dates. Happy to report that Robert Mills, head of like ABC Entertainment summer programming, tweeted, okay, Bachelor Nation, I hear you, like enough with the wedding date. So I think like the uproar on Twitter last night was real because it like we hadn't seen Justin and Kody in the room together for longer than a minute. And now we're watching them read these vows.
It is
like, it's a lovely line. It's not genuine. Like it could be.
He wrote it as like a fake line that he was going to recite.
Right.
Weird. It wasn't in the moment.
Yeah. And it's so weird because it's like, if it was Greg, it would almost be like, oh, is this too, like when he did the fake proposal and he said, I love you. It's like, since they do have such a spark and like he had already been on a one-on-one, like, oh, does he mean it? But with Justin, it was his first one-on-one and Kate, it was just like so weird. And like, almost like they were acting like, why not just give them a script to read if they're going to be a fake wedding or like read like famous wedding scenes throughout history or something. Like don't write fake vows. It's just creepy to me.
It's creepy. It's creepy. It's like I always say the poems need to go too.
There was a poem this episode.
Oh yeah, there's always a freaking poem. There's always a poem.
And my other line was from the group date. There's just so much Blake Moynes to unpack this week. But when he said, I've never met drag queens, I've never been to a drag show, so I don't know if I should be checking them out or not. Just said a lot about Blake, you know?
I agree. I hesitated when he said that line. I was like, okay,
He's got sex on the mind, which we'll get to, I'm sure. But
oh my god, yeah. Okay, so my line is from one of the queens, which I love them actually. He said, "If your lovemaking skills are anything like your debate skills, oh no." I thought that was so funny, and I really liked it because it was like this. Like I said with the poems, it just like say what you really want. You know, it gets to the point with all these fake dates that they're not saying what they really want to say and they're not being authentic and they're coming up with these stupid little love poems. And the queens were right. They're like, just say what you want to say. Hunter's a jerk. And like, what do you really think about Kody? You know?
Why was that date so weird? Like, did they not understand the assignment?
It was very strange. It was very strange. It was like James started with this like heartfelt monologue. Yeah. And then we get into like bashing Hunter way too much. It was strange.
And Hunter taking the high road, kind of a plot twist, but you kind of got to respect it at that point. Like, there's nothing he can really do.
I know.
We have to talk about the, like, telling the queen he wasn't in love and then saying he loved her. Like, that was pretty bad. Like, you were caught. Like, that's no excuses, Hunter. Like, you're kind of a moron.
I know. But then it's also like, Trey, just spend your time talking about you and Kody, you know? Because then he got sent home.
I know. I think it was one of those episodes where Kody just had to, like, besides one of the 7, which we'll get to when I get to my pack your bags, these are the other 6. Like there's definitely 6 or 5. Like those guys, I genuinely believe she like has a strong connection with and wants to explore more. Like she had to cut like a Connor who she wishes it was, but she doesn't feel it. And the other guys are just like the friend zone guys who've kind of been going along. You know what I mean? You got to keep people at the numbers game. And they didn't stand a chance. Like James.
No, I know. He's out. Okay. So who gets your cringe of the night?
Okay, I mean, my cringe is just everything to do with this pleasure, getting jiggy with it situation. I know more about Blake Moynes than I ever needed to.
Yeah.
It wasn't funny, and it was just stupid and cringy.
They didn't follow through with it.
Well, they kind of, it's like, but some of the guys wasted their time, like, giving her an update, and it's like, first of all, you didn't even know what she wanted, because she's like, that's insulting, and I was like, this is just so weird. Weird. Like, I mean, I know the show wants to be more sex positive, and that's great, but, like, I don't know. I just don't think we need to be having these conversations like as a group and like watching these guys talk about it. And it just made me like cringe. And like Caitlin Bristow tweeted, I forgot the internet doesn't have a sense of humor. So like, I don't know if people were like
getting it was her idea.
It definitely was her idea. Maybe you think so, or Kody?
What?
You think it was her idea or Katie's?
If she tweeted that, I think it's Caitlin.
It's possible. Yeah. I did like seeing Caitlin and Tayshia do like a little bit of a rundown at the top of the episode. I thought that was kind of fun to hear her talk about the guys with her. Yeah. But I don't know. That whole thing was just cringe.
It was cringe. I hated it. I was literally cringing.
Yeah.
Literally.
I don't know who that was for.
What? I didn't get it. I just didn't get it. And I felt like there was no outcome. Like, I didn't
Like to make that sprinkler joke. That was what that was for. Like with Blac after he showed like,
yeah.
Yes.
I know. My other cringe went to Blac with the radio.
Okay, I'm actually low-key giving him a rose for that. Only because I love Say Anything, but also just because the way Kody lights up when he's in the room. I don't get it, okay? I mean, I just spent the first 20 minutes of the show being like, what the heck is Blac up to? But Kody lights up when he's there. And
he does.
At the end of the day, the show is supposed to find Kody a man, and they're like, that was kind of a highlight for me of the episode, is like seeing her connection with Blac after the Connor thing. So I don't know.
I feel like Blac is very self-aware because he's already been on the show before, right? Which gives him a huge advantage to these other guys. So he feels like he has a leg up, but like Blac wasn't the type of person who I thought should ever have a leg up. Does that make sense? Like, I feel like he's a front runner, but he's not the front runner material. Like he is for Kody.
He is for Kody. Tayshia and Claire are not compatible, like didn't work.
No.
He was like all in and it was kind of weird. Like it didn't really make sense why he was so in love with them. But I swear with Kody, there's something happening there. And it's
I agree with you. Yeah. I agree that he and Kody are meant to be and that she should pick him for the final rose. I just don't agree that he's a front runner. I'm like, Blac? That's him.
They have the same humor. Like they like that whole whoa challenge.
I loved it.
Them closer together, I feel like.
Yeah, they loved it. That was so weird. Okay. So who does get your rose besides Blac? Anyone else?
Just Connor B, because I want him to, not be sad about his kissing skills and know that it's not really him. It's just, there's a lot of guys there and Katie's not the one for him. I felt bad for him. That was kind of sad.
Do you think he has bad breath?
Maybe the hot dog had like an onion on it. I don't know. She has potato chips on her hot dog, so maybe it's on her.
Yeah. Oh God, I don't get it.
Who gets your rose?
Justin. I really like Justin. I feel like he could be the next Bachelor. He
did just apologize for
right. I read this.
The apology on Bachelor Happy Hour this week. Go check it out. It seemed pretty heartfelt. He was talking, he was like 14 years old when some of them went out. Like it's hard, cancel culture, whole other conversation. But I like him on the show. He's coming off great. I agree.
Yeah, I agree. Super handsome. But I totally forgot about that. I read it. I was like Googling him last night. I'm like, really?
I know. Start to like them. Something happens.
Yeah. And I loved the date with Connor and Kody, just like the hangout date with Jason and Caitlin. I like that concept a lot more than like a fake proposal. Of course it didn't work out, but I liked that, just kind of getting to know each other in the double date aspect.
I love that concept too. I'm so glad you brought that up. It didn't work out. So it's almost like a dangerous date because it's too real. Like in the Bachelor world, you suspend things and it's like, okay, if there's a private concert happening, like I'm going to be loving everything, which also like the Justin private concert was like so sweet versus like the Blac one that was like so aggressive with the making out and the like the grabbing. But with Connor B in this date, it's like, I think that's something they should totally do every season because if you are like the front runner or there's a real connection, that's such an advantage because you see them in like everyday life and like bonding with friends and like how that would be. And I think that's an advantage to take yourself out. But if you're not totally feeling it, the person, it's a disadvantage because you're not going to be like distracted by the fanciness.
Yeah, no, I agree. I loved it. All right. Who's packing their bags for you?
Okay. Well, the person who I was talking about before is Brendan. Brendan, why are you here? Like, I know she had to give out 6 roses and I feel like she just picked one of them to keep and it was Brendan. We've never seen them talk.
I almost didn't remember who it was, except that I remember his hair.
Yes. And his hair is great and he's cute, but like, why are you here? I don't get it. Like, I feel like she
never heard
him too and then had her top 6. Like, there's no, obviously he's going home next. He's not getting a hometown date. We've never seen them in the room alone together. So that's annoying. So pack your bags, Brendan. And also Greg and Kody having the same conversation. Another week where Greg looked miserable on the group date and Kody had to like reassure him. And then they said they were falling for each other, but like, it was just like disconnected and weird. And like, how many times is she going to have to like give him his reassurance? Like, that's not how this works. It's her show.
Yeah, agreed. Okay, mine was Trey because he did pack his bags, but just for using his time to talk again about Hunter, it just wasn't worth it to me. And then of course he didn't get a rose. And then Katie because she sent home Connor.
Mandy's about to see if she can go to paradise. I know you're married and have a child. Just make sure Connor's okay. Check it out. Team Connor. Wow.
Oh, man. All right. Well, that was a fun episode. Thank you, Sarah. And we'll be back next Tuesday recapping another episode.
Hometown date. Roses. Woo!
Bye.
Bye.